Thanks for joining us for CBN News Midday. I'm Mark Martin.
And I'm Lori Johnson. President Obama's State of the Union speech tonight could be the beginning of a showdown with congressional Republicans. The president will talk about some new spending plans in his speech, but he faces a new Congress full of conservatives who are determined to cut the federal budget. Jennifer Wishon has the story from Washington.
The president's State of the Union address could just as easily be called the State of the Economy, and for the first time in his presidency, he'll face a Republican-controlled House.
My principal focus, my number one focus, is going to be making sure that we are competitive, that we are growing, and we are creating jobs, not just now, but well into the future.
He'll also map out plans to invest in education and infrastructure. To Republicans, that means more spending, something they call unacceptable.
We really have to have at least, I think, this year a 10% reduction in spending.
The speech is an opportunity for the president. His poll numbers are up, and recent business-friendly appointments have impressed some of the nation's CEOs.
Now it's on the president to see what he proposes for very specific cuts in the budget to get us closer to balance.
But this year he must work with Republicans. Just hours before he speaks, the GOP is expected to approve a resolution that returns spending levels to those of 2008. It's largely symbolic, but sends a message they're serious about cutting $100 billion out of the president's budget. Inspired by the tragic shootings in Tucson, tonight some members will literally cross the aisle to sit with members of the opposite party.
I'm bringing the popcorn, he's bringing a Coke with 2 straws.
I think you'll see Republicans and Democrats get back to the fiery language of the past, but at least for one day they'll sit next to each other and all cheer, I guess, for the president when he gives a speech.
After the president leaves the House chamber, House Budget Chairman Paul Ryan will deliver the GOP's response. Once he's finished, Congresswoman Michelle Bachmann will deliver a Tea Party response. Jennifer Wishon, CBN News, Washington.
And joining us now is Dr. Charles Dunn. He is a distinguished professor at Regent University. Welcome, Dr. Dunn.
Thank you.
What can we expect from President Obama's speech tonight?
Well, what should we look for? We should look at the kind of language he uses. Does he use vague language subject to double meanings, or does he use very specific language? What did the American people vote for in 2010? They voted for limited government, reduced taxes, and spending. And Obamacare, replace, repeal, replace. That was the key slogan, which wraps up all of those things of reduced spending, reduced taxes, limited government. So will he respond to what the American people voted for in 2010? That's the big question. Here's the way I would judge it historically. Will he become, in this speech, Jimmy Carter on steroids or Bill Clinton running for daylight in the open field?
Interesting. Well, do you think he's going to focus on the economy, or should that be the primary portion of the speech?
Politically, yes, he should focus on the economy, but there's a whole lot out there besides that. And he will send signals as to whether or not he has learned lessons from 2010. For example, in foreign affairs, will he signal that he supports General David Petraeus and the military buildup in Afghanistan? Will he signal that he supports Israel, our only faithful ally and the only democracy in the Mideast? There are key questions like that, which he should address. But definitely he has to address the economy because that's foremost on the public mind.
How do you think that the show of bipartisanship is going to affect the atmosphere tonight?
It will. And frankly, I think it's phony. I worked on the Hill 4 years, House side, Senate side. To me, I see this as an effort to subvert the increasing strength of the Republican Party. You have the State of the Union, and now Republicans have an overwhelming majority in the House, increased numbers in the Senate, and so the Republican side much larger than the Democratic side. Who proposed this? Democratic senator from Colorado, Senator Udall. Now, I think he was well-intentioned with that, but the effect of it is to subvert the impact of the visual on the television cameras.
And quickly, one of the responses by the Republicans is going to be given by Michelle Bachmann. What do you think about that?
Well, you know, she is looking for airtime, PT time. And it's a good opportunity for her as one of the major leaders in the Tea Party to do that. But my own view is, you give a person enough rope, they'll hang themselves. This is the President's night, the State of the Union night. Let him have his say, and then come back later after tonight, because if you were to study how many people turn off the TV set after the President speaks, the Nielsen numbers go way down. So why waste time with Ryan and Bachmann speaking?
Okay, Dr. Dunn, thanks so much as always.
You're welcome.
Lori.
Pro-lifers took their cause to the nation's capital and other cities Monday for the annual March for Life. The march takes place every year around the January 22nd anniversary of Roe v. Wade, the 1973 Supreme Court ruling that legalized abortion. At this year's march, a large number of young people braved the cold D.C. temperatures to express the message, life counts.
This bond and this knowledge that we are survivors, that we came through this great American Holocaust.
We are the survivor generation. We almost were aborted ourselves. So I think that resonates a lot with young people.
House Majority Leader Eric Cantor spoke at the rally and called for Roe v. Wade to be overturned.
Turning overseas, there's a lot of finger pointing today after the suicide attack that killed 35 people at a Moscow airport. Russia's president says airport security is responsible, but those security officials insist the police were in charge. Ephraim Graham has more.
Planes are landing and taking off at Russia's Domodedovo airport, but security is tighter.
As you know, there has been an explosion in the Domodedovo airport. The preliminary version is that it is a terrorist.
2 Britons, a German and a Bulgarian, were among those killed, and according to the emergency ministry, another 110 people, including 9 foreigners, were hospitalized with injuries. This man says he saw someone detonate an explosive device, possibly a suitcase, and Russian authorities say a single suicide bomber with 6 rounds of explosives and shrapnel is responsible for the terror. Suspicion points to Islamic rebels in southern Russia. CBN terrorism analyst Eric Stackelback offered this insight in an interview with Lee Webb.
Chechen separatist jihadists there have close ties with Arab militants as well. We have a number of Arab Islamic jihadists have set up shop in Chechnya. They've been there for about 15 years now, Lee. A lot of Saudis in Chechnya providing guidance, both religious guidance in terms of jihad, but also bomb making and guidance on that end.
As in the U.S., Moscow's airport screens passengers before they board planes, but the bomber struck in the public arrivals area, where there is no screening. As the investigation continues, President Obama says America stands with the Russian people.
I strongly condemn this outrageous act of terrorism against the Russian people.
This is not the first attack involving this Russian airport. Muslim suicide bombers boarded a plane in 2004. It exploded in the air and killed 90 people. Ephraim Graham, CBN News.
In other news, some American churches are taking controversial steps to reach out to their Muslim neighbors. At least 2 congregations received national attention recently after they literally opened their doors to local Muslims, letting them use their churches to hold Muslim worship services. Heather Sells explains.
Muslims made major headlines last year when they tried to build a mosque near Ground Zero and a mega mosque in the heart of the Bible Belt in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. But even beyond those headlines is a new question. What happens when Muslims building a mosque ask to share worship space with a local Christian congregation? That's what happened recently in Alexandria, Virginia, when an Islamic center meeting in this storefront decided to build its own mosque. In the meantime, it asked Aldersgate Methodist if it could use its building for Friday prayers.
I feel like we are embodying Christianity by being welcoming.
Diane Bechtel, a member of the church's newly founded Muslim Dialogue Committee, says the church was surprised when the request came in, but now wants to get to better know its Muslim neighbors.
It's very easy to categorize a group, to demonize a group, to suspect or just not know or understand a group.
And Bechtel says she does not think sharing worship space compromises her faith.
Jesus called upon us to give hospitality to strangers, to feed the poor, to help the sick. And this is walking the walk.
In Cordova, Tennessee, outside of Memphis, Hearts on Church received a similar request. Pastor Steve Stone says loaning out their worship space to Muslim neighbors is a great way to share the gospel.
Our Muslim brothers and sisters know that we're Jesus followers. They know we're not trading, hey, you take the Trinity, we'll take an internal jihad. You know, we're clearly Jesus followers. They know that.
But not everyone agrees that this is a biblical means of outreach. As a recent Christianity Today commentary notes, it is not self-evident that this duty to love your neighbor requires us to provide property for false worship. It also points out that good works should not lead other believers to stumble. Christians across the country may be forced to engage in such questions sooner rather than later as more and more Muslim communities continue to expand. Heather Sells, CBN News.
Coming up on CBN News Midday, why the Pope has some advice for Christians who spread the gospel online.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth.
These are the greatest stories ever told. Presented by Academy Award winner Charlton Heston.
Thus saith the Lord of Israel, let my people go.
Join Charlton Heston as he travels the sacred lands of the Bible.
I'm going to take you with me on a journey exploring the stories in the Bible and the ancient land where they happened. This is said to be the very garden. This, the very rock where Jesus prayed for strength.
Now the Bible comes to life like never before. Time Life presents Charlton Heston's The Bible.
And Moses cast the tablets from his hands.
Praised by critics, this landmark TV series is now available on digitally remastered DVDs. You'll be inspired by the greatest stories from the Old and New Testaments, enhanced by historic works of art. Get Charlton Heston Presents the Bible on 4 DVDs for $49.99. Call with your credit card and save $10.
And Abraham stretched forth his hand and took the knife to slay his son.
And that's not all. You'll also get a free bonus DVD that takes you behind the scenes. And if you call in the next 10 minutes, we'll ship for free. That's an additional savings of nearly $7.
For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever.
Call now to get Charlton Heston's The Bible on 5 DVDs for just $39.99. Call in the next 10 minutes and we'll ship for free.
Now therefore go, and I will be with thee.
Call 1-800-748-5167 to order Charlton Heston Presents the Bible for $39.99 and receive free shipping when you call in the next 10 minutes with your credit card.
The recent flooding that devastated parts of Australia may be the country's worst natural disaster ever. And now many Aussies are getting on their knees seeking divine intervention. Gary Lane has the story.
As the floodwaters roared through northeast Australia, this group of Christian intercessors gathered on the steps of the Victoria State Parliament building. They asked God to protect their nation from further flood devastation. Pastor Danny Nalaya led the effort in Melbourne.
We fell on our knees and we cried unto the Lord, and we said, Lord, please forgive our sins and heal the land.
Do not turn your face away from us, Lord God, but have mercy, Lord God.
Nalaya estimates more than 1,000 Christians gathered in corporate prayer throughout Australia last week. The result?
In Queensland, instead of it increasing, the water started receding. The results of that, according to the news reporter, was thousands of lives and thousands of homes were saved. It was the collective prayers of the body of Christ which has brought about the results to the nation.
The worst may not be over yet. The flood emergency, now in the southeast of the country, is expected to last about another week. Gary Lane, CBN News.
Israel's Holocaust Memorial has launched a Farsi language version of its YouTube channel. The goal? To educate Iranians about the Holocaust. The Farsi version is designed to counter the Iranian government's denial of the Holocaust. The president of Iran has called it a myth and hosted a conference questioning whether it took place. He also says Israel should be, quote, wiped off the map.
The Pope is offering advice about spreading the gospel online. Pope Benedict XVI told Catholic bloggers and Facebook and YouTube users to be respectful and sensitive when witnessing. The Pope called for a Christian-style presence online that is responsible, honest, and discreet. Benedict wrote, quote, "We must be aware that the truth which we long to share does not derive its worth from its popularity." A Virginia school district will be reposting the 10 Commandments in every school in the county. The commandments were up on the walls in Giles County for at least a decade, next to framed copies of the Constitution. But one resident complained, claiming the display of the commandments violated the Constitution. So school officials took them down. Then several parents and pastors, supported by numerous citizens, told the board it had a moral obligation to reinforce God's teachings. So the 5-member school board voted unanimously to put the commandments back up. The school superintendent says they'll wait now to see if there's a lawsuit.
At least 2 states are taking steps to put more restrictions on abortion clinics. In Kansas, those who perform late-term abortions will have to do a better job explaining why. They must clearly state the medical reasons why an abortion after 21 weeks was necessary to save the mother's life or prevent permanent harm. And in Texas, Governor Rick Perry has fast-tracked legislation requiring women to have an ultrasound first if they're seeking an abortion.
Children who get less sleep are more likely to be obese. Researchers found that children of all weights averaged 8 hours of sleep a night. 9 or more hours are recommended, however. The study published in Pediatrics found that lack of sleep creates metabolism problems for a young and growing body. Other studies have found that it can throw off the body's biological clock and make people hungrier.
Up next, Africa's economic boom. Why the continent is on the fast track for financial success.
What makes the miracles of Jesus even more miraculous? Standing where they happened, in Israel. Come explore Jerusalem, where Jesus opened blind eyes. Visit the hills of Galilee, where Jesus fed the multitude. Stroll through Capernaum, where Jesus lived and taught and healed. To learn more about standing where it all happened in Israel, visit www.goisrael.com. Come visit Israel.
Endless pools are an incredible alternative to traditional pools, making it easy and inexpensive to swim at home. Call our toll-free number or visit our website. A free idea kit and DVD will be sent to your home so you can discover all the benefits of owning your own pool. Compared to traditional pools, endless pools are simple to install, easy to maintain, and economical to run. Our precision-engineered pools enable you to swim or exercise against a smooth current that adjusts to any speed and ability. Endless pools are perfect for year-round health and fitness, relaxation, and family fun. Our free idea kit and DVD will show you how easy it is for the whole family to enjoy a pool right in your backyard or home. An endless pool or an endless pool swim spa can become a showplace for your home. Call our toll-free number or visit the website to find out more about endless pools. The free idea kit will show you just how easy it is to be able to swim at home.
What makes the miracles of Jesus even more miraculous? Standing where they happened, in Israel. Come sail the Sea of Galilee, where Jesus calmed a raging storm. Experience Jerusalem, where Jesus restored a paralyzed man. Explore Capernaum, where Jesus spoke a centurion servant into health. To learn more about standing where it all happened, in Israel, visit goisrael.com. Come visit Israel.
It's a continent with 54 countries and close to 1 billion people.
And although most people don't realize it, Africa is becoming one of the world's greatest economic success stories. George Thomas has today's focus report from Johannesburg, South Africa.
Ubuntu. It's a well-known saying here in parts of southern Africa. It means, I am what I am because of who we all are.
And who we all are a people yearning to make our lives better and to work together with the rest of the world.
And Africans increasingly want to play a role in that world. Today across Africa, the power of Ubuntu is giving millions of people hope about the future of their continent.
I do believe that Africa is a rising continent.
People working together to lift their nations from the ashes of war, famine, death, disease, AIDS, and corruption.
And what gives you the optimism?
I suppose the will of the people to actually be stronger, and to do something and to make it better.
Surveys show there are few corners of this vast land where optimism, especially among young people, isn't rising.
It's true that Africa does face many problems, but I think that it's not insurmountable. I think that there is a lot of hope for the youth that we as a continent can pull through.
From the International Monetary Fund to the World Bank to influential business magazines, experts point to a vibrant and changing Africa. Some even liken it to an African renaissance.
It's growing. It's growing. It's going to be like the same as the other countries, the other top countries soon.
This year, 8 of the 20 fastest growing economies in the world will hail from Africa. The continent's overall economy is expected to grow in the years to come at a rapid rate of 5 to 8% annually.
Certainly, I think in the next 10 to 15 years, given the GDP estimates of Africa, the population and the services available, it certainly could be a place to invest your money.
George Nichols runs a multi-million-dollar consultancy group out of Johannesburg, South Africa. He says much of Africa's growth is fueled by an exploding middle class. That number's around 400 million and climbing.
A lot of domestic spend goes on mobile phones. A lot of domestic spend goes on beverages and alcohol, staple foods. And outside of that, where you see the growth now is actually in banking services. So cell phones and telecommunications have brought banking to Africa. And once you bring banking to people, businesses start to flourish.
And this is the new Africa story, a continent that is consuming like never before on shopping malls that are sprouting up all over the place. People buying cell phone technology, opening up bank accounts, buying homes, cars, food, clothes. You really get a sense that Africa is finally moving ahead. The World Bank says up to 40% of the gross domestic product of some of the largest African economies is fueled by the service sector. And you have disposable income now to spend?
Yes.
Yeah. And do you
I work now. I'm currently employed and I'm happy with my job.
Do you worry about debt?
No, I'm 16. I think that's my parents' job.
Good answer.
One gets the sense that there is a lot of excitement about Africa. Africa's time has come.
Trevor Ngube is a successful Zimbabwean media mogul. He owns several leading newspapers and other business enterprises across the continent. He's thrilled that Africa is now the third fastest growing economic region in the world after Asia and the Middle East.
Seeing my generation, and more so our children and people younger than me, who are passionate about the continent, who see this being the place that the whole world is going to stand up and pay attention to in the next 20, 30, 40 years to come.
Nikki Newton-King is preparing for it. She helps run one of the largest stock exchanges in Africa. King says investors, both inside and outside the continent, are looking for ways to play Africa.
I think that the whole emerging market appetite is ticking up. I think Africa is the undiscovered continent and the undiscovered emerging market.
Are there still serious problems plaguing the continent? Absolutely. Africa faces new challenges every day, and experts say investors should be prepared for the long haul.
People must understand that investing in Africa is not for sissies. People must understand that there are going to be risks, and they need to understand the nature of those risks.
But if the trends continue, Africa will play an increasingly important role in the world, and perhaps too as a strategic and vital engine of the global economy. George Thomas, CBN News in Johannesburg, South Africa.
Up next, random acts of competition. The man who holds the Guinness Book of World Records in World world records.
Millions of women worldwide love Bare Minerals.
This is smooth, it's nice, and it covers. I like that.
Only Bare Minerals looks like beautiful bare skin, while it covers whatever you want it to. And now you can get our latest kit with our totally new, totally spill-proof Click Lock Go foundation. For over 75% off retail, our new kit comes with Bare Minerals foundation in the shade that's just right for you. Warmth for a healthy glow. Mineral Veil, the ultimate finishing touch, and Bare Minerals Flawless Application Brush. Call now and get 3 full-size gifts worth $57.95 free. Purchased separately, you'd spend over $120. Our original Get Started kit was a great deal at 2 payments of $29.99. But now you can get all this for just 1 payment of $29.99. Save over $90 and get a 30-day money-back guarantee.
Call 1-800-376-4174. Ask how you can receive this handy compact. Call 1-800-376-4174 now.
It's impossible to close an open can with a pop top. Open cans spill in the fridge. What a mess. And open cans lose their fizz. What a waste. Introducing Bottle Top. It turns your can into a bottle with the snap of a cap. Open metal cans can't travel. What a waste. Bottle Top turns your can into a bottle that's perfectly portable. You can't do this with an open can. Bottle Top lets any soda keep its carbonation. Look, bugs are gross, but Bottle Top protects your drink from insects. When you're done drinking, just pop it off. Rinse under hot water and reuse. Bottle Top keeps drinks from spilling. Now get 6 colored Bottle Tops for just $10. Call now and get 6 more. Plus, we'll send you the Can Top Popper. Just pay separate shipping and handling. You get 12 amazing Bottle Tops, plus the Can Top Popper, all for just $10.
Call 1-800-377-9176. But hurry, call now. We're giving away a bonus 6 more Bottle Tops and the Can Top Popper with today's orders. That's 1-800-377-9176. Call now.
Welcome back. Success in competitive sports, as you know, takes drive and determination.
But that also can be said for pogo sticking, hula hooping, and yes, even yak racing. Meet Ashrita Furman. He's dedicated his life to competing for the Guinness Book of World Records in world records. From running with a baseball bat on one finger, to running with cans strapped to his feet, to even racing a yak while running in a sack. Sounds like a Dr. Seuss book. Furman set 350 records around the world.
I saw there was a record, and I said, wow, that looks kind of interesting. The point is challenge. Okay, it's something silly, but you're the best in the world in it. That's what I live for, basically.
Okay, Furman has no sponsors or endorsements and doesn't even make money off of his records. Next month, he'll try to walk the farthest distance while, what else, bouncing a golf ball on his club.
He's getting some practice there. I'll tell you what, racing a yak while in a sack.
He must train pretty hard for those events, too.
He's got a lot of time on his hands, I'd say so. Well, that's all for this edition of CBN News Midday. You can find information on all the stories you've seen right here at cbnnews.com.
Thanks for joining us, and have a great rest of the day.
Fresh, wholesome juice. There's nothing like it. But until now, you had to stress and strain and make a huge mess to get just a little bit of juice. But not anymore, thanks to the Jack LaLanne Power Juicer. You can drop in whole vegetables, whole fruits, apples, oranges, celery, cucumbers with no chopping, no slicing, no struggling. And thanks to the Power Juicer's revolutionary patented extraction technology, you can get up to 30% more juice than those other juicers. Doctors recommend we get 5 to 9 servings of fruits and vegetables every day. With the Power Juicer, you'll be drinking your recommended daily allowance in just seconds. And the pulp from the extra large pulp catcher can be used to make pasta sauces, healthy desserts, and much more. The Power Juicer is dishwasher safe, so cleanup's a breeze, and the powerful motor is guaranteed for life. Order the Jack LaLanne Power Juicer now for just 2 easy payments of $49.90. And as part of this special TV offer, we'll also send you this amazing recipe guide filled with over 60 of Jack's favorite recipes. Try the Jack LaLanne Power Juicer in your home risk-free for 30 days. If you're not completely satisfied, send it back for a full refund of the purchase price, no questions asked. Call now.
Introducing the all-new Gizmo's Bible Adventures from Superbook.tv. This delightful full-color 30-day devotional is filled with fun puzzles and activities you can do with your children, and it's absolutely free. Kids will love finding out how to grow as a Christian from Chris, Joy, and Gizmo, their Superbook friends. Parents, please visit superbook.tv and click on the Gizmo's Bible Adventures link to download this booklet today. It can help build a wonderful life for your kids.